I'm Mark Ward, Sports Information Director here at Southwestern Assemblies of God University. We have with us today Brad Heathcock. I have to say that the first time I saw Brad, he was brand new here at the school. I walked over and I asked the defensive coordinator, John Allen, who is this guy wearing number 8? And he said about you, Brad, that you're a tough nut to crack. Has that always been your MO? I mean, is that something that's gone back to high school as far as your style of play?
I would say it's gone even farther than that. I started when I was 5, but I didn't always get it, how to hit. For most football players that, have played for that long, they always remember the day when they got it and it clicked. And for me, that was about when I was 9 years old. Just started hitting, learned how to do it, and figured out that a lot of people didn't know how to do it. So yeah, I guess ever since then.
How does that feel to a safety or a cornerback to come up and hit somebody and not just tackle them, but just knock them flat down?
It's one of the best feelings in the world, I got to admit. Whenever you get a chance to hit a receiver early in the game and get in his head, and he's going to be looking for you from then on, you really disrupt his game and you make it a lot easier on yourself. So that's a good thing.
Now, for people who like to hit, I would think you wouldn't like to get hit, but yet you're always on the kickoff team or you're on the punt return team. What is that like?
Well, it takes a special kind of person, special kind of mindset to return punts. It's pretty nerve-wracking. I don't know if I look calm and collected on the field, but I tell you what's going through my mind is a lot of prayers. My dad says every time I go back there to return a punt, he's praying for me. So I appreciate that a lot. And I just see the ball off the foot, and if it stays in the air too long, I start getting uncomfortable. I just throw that hand up there and get a fair catch and get out of there, live another day.
Now, before enrolling here at Southwestern, you went to a couple of other schools, and then you came here. Tell us about that.
Right out of high school, I went up to Missouri enrolled into Evangel University. I didn't like it there as much as I thought I would, and so I went ahead and transferred to North Texas to try and walk on, try to be a preferred walk-on. I walked on, I had a good tryout, and the cookies didn't fall my way. So sat out another season, and then I found my way here. I always knew about Southwestern, and so God really just opened up that door for me, so it was easy to walk through.
Lastly, playing for Coach Godding and Coach Allen for these last few years, and now we've gotten new coaches in this year. What is it like to play for those two men?
It's an honor. I'm very honored to play for two great men of God. It's hard to put into words what it's like. Actually, you just don't get that anymore these days. To have a coach that really actually does care about you on and off the field, it means more than words can say, actually.
Well, good luck the rest of the season. We'd like to hope it's going to be our first one here at SAGU that finishes on the positive side of 500. Godspeed to you, Brad Heathcock, and thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, Mark.
Bless you.
Welcome back to halftime here at Lumpkin Stadium. Rob Price here with my co-host Tim Roberts, and the Roos hold a 13-10 advantage over the SAGU Lions here. Second half about to get underway. Tim got some first half stats to share.
Yeah, and the stats are what you'd expect from a three-point game. The Roos are outgaining the Lions 167 to 156, so just 11 yards there. Lions only have 17 yards passing in the first half. It's been a running game. Roos have 52, but I believe that came on a swing pass, which might as well be a run. Lions with 139 yards on the ground. Like I said, they're only averaging 73. Roos give up 193 a game. It's looking more like the Roos are allowing than what the Lions game, but the Roos have 115 themselves. Looking at some key players here. Reed Golson, 67 yards on the ground. Hasn't done through the air, but has some great legs. McKinley, 47 yards rushing. Haynes, 22. Lushner, 12. So, you just look at all of these Lions rushing. Same thing with the Roos. Sweeney, 67 yards rushing and a touchdown. Wankpa, 28 yards rushing. Boyd, 12. Murphy, 6. Leonard, 2. These are all guys with 2 or more carries. There's been nothing but running in this game. Just been really, like I said, a ground-dominated ball game so far.
Defensively, Brad Heathcock leads the Lions with 6 tackles. Dalton Snyder with 4 on the Roos side of things. Nathan Packard with 5 tackles. And Logan Estes with 3, who had a penalty flag against him in the second quarter.
Had a penalty, but redeemed himself right after with a big hit. The Roos only allowed a field goal on that drive. and that's what they lead by, 13-10 right now. As the players are walking out on the field, we are ready to go. The Roos have led it half 3 straight weeks now. Will they repeat what they've done the past 2? We'll find out right now. Roos are back to kick, Lions back to receive. The Lions deferred to begin the game, so they will start with the ball.
Back to receive our wide receivers, Trevor McKinley and Jeremy McDonald, numbers 7 and 11, respectively. And let's see if the Lions can begin the second half with a good sustained drive. The first half, first quarter, 3 and out, Tim. You do not want to start the second half with one of those.
Yeah, you want to look more like you did towards the end of the half. You're putting together some great drives. Obviously, the quick touchdown drive and then the field goal drive. Kick is high and away. Fielder at 10.
McKinley finds room, still on his feet. Squirts to the right, up to the left, past the 40, 45, past midfield. He's down to the 45-yard line.
That's how you start second half out, trailing by 3. McKinley taking that, McDonald actually, taking that ball down to the 45-yard line of the Roos, starting with their best field position of the night. Inside Roos territory already.
By far the best field position. Great spark plug by McDonald. Look at this run. Picks up speed.
Yeah, and shook off a tackle at the 28. This could have been a standard reception, but he fought all his way through. The Lions looking in, trailing by 3.
Sideline happy about that kickoff return.
Really wanting to get that 2-1 mark. You started 3-1 last year and got your first ever ranking in the NAIA. You want to fight right back in that same position, start getting that recognition again as a team that you reckoned with. And when your only loss is by 1 point, so a team was ranked number 24 at the time, you might have that chance.
Golson, hands up off the middle. Looks like he's met by a cloud of Roos and just past the line of scrimmage, possibly a gain of 1 on the play.
Yeah, that's Lushner just going up the middle. He's still getting the start again to start the second half. He's first team, but
William Gadberry on the tackle for the Roos from Edora, Kansas. One of the few players not from Texas.
Well,
I found another
look at that.
Tim.
It's hard to find him on this team of about 90 guys. That's 2 of them so far, but Texas through and through up there in Sherman, my old stomping grounds.
Trips left now. Golson looks back to the sideline, possibly changing the play. He's got 1 man behind him. Lushner, option to Lushner. He gets it around the outside to the right, up past the 40-yard line. Check that 41-yard line.
So, little gain right there. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Lions. Got to watch out here. You get the big kickoff return down in the Roos territory, and all of a sudden you're staring a 3rd and mid straight in the face. You don't want to have to – this is that weird area. Yes. Of course, I don't know. If I'm looking at this right here, if I'm Coach Godding, I see 6 yards. I might see 4 down territory since you're in Roos territory already. But let's hope you don't have to go there. You're looking for the big 3rd down here, trying to convert for the first. Like I said, again, you get that spark. You want to reward your defensive special teams when you get those turnovers and big kick returns. You want to give them that prize of saying, hey, thank you very much. Here's 7 points.
Maybe you test Gish's legs if it gets down to 4th and 1, 35-yard line. It's just about Gish's range at 51 yards last year. But for right now, Golson looks back to pass. He's in trouble, scrambles left. Plenty of running room. He's going to take it himself, takes a block. Up forward to the 25-yard line, a great spring block by number 4, Austin Martinez.
Look at this right here. He's looking
Watch
the whole
block
way.
By number 4.
And just coming in right here. Yeah, Martinez laying a good block, almost blocking the back, but he pulled off just enough. Golson, what awareness. Again, he's looking deep. He's thinking passing that play. Nowhere in the huddle was it in Golson's head, hey, I'm going to run this ball. But right then, he saw he had the opening. He saw it was his only chance and went the long route. He was already on the right hash, took it all the way to the left sideline. Picks up the first down, Lions down to the 25-yard line of the Roos. Very impressive. Reed Golson taken over as a QB.
Golson spins, turns around, hands it off to a running back, spins out left. That's Lushner again, Tim. 28 tackles, number 20, and a flag on the field. That tackle by number 28, DeAndre Holmes from Watauga, Texas. We'll see what the flag is. It was thrown right in the middle of the field. It's looks to be a hold against the Lions.
That's what you expect. Anytime you see a running back bouncing outside and getting some success, you can expect somebody offensive line held. So 10 yards, mark him back to 35. Cade, not happy with that one. He had a big run in the game against Bethany that might have, I'm not going to say iced the game, but really would have given the Lions some huge momentum, brought back on a penalty. Worst feeling for a running back. You fight for some yards, and you don't get anything for it.
So 1st and a whole bunch now, 1st and 20 for the Lions as they go back to the spread offense. 4 receivers, 1 man in motion, and he gets it. That's Trevor McKinley around the outside, and he is stopped just inside the 35-yard line. Check that.
So a gain of 1 right there. Lions facing, again, 2nd and 19 here.
Well, that play is designed because the spread offense looks pass, but then the guy in the slot comes in motion, takes the ball. So it's meant to just freeze those linebackers for just a moment, Tim.
And it worked pretty well in the past, not on that play. Lions only pick up a yard, facing 2nd and long. Just want to pick up enough right here to make a manageable 3rd, and considering Gish's leg.
I was going to say, he's just inside Gish's territory.
It's
a push,
You
but
never
it's
want to make a kick or try to kick it over 50. I'm not sure if they would.
Golson looks to pass right, now runs left. He's in trouble, now fake, pulls a Brett Favre, throws a Brett Favre-like pass, a duck way out of bounds to nobody, and there may be a flag on that. Intentional grounding.
The Roos are asking for intentional grounding, but I think Golson got out of the hashes. That's all you have to do. You have to break out of what they call the tackle box. It's totally objective is what that is. Golson scrambling around, almost fell and hit his knee on the ground. That would have been a loss, a huge loss, and he just flings it out of bounds after presumably breaking the tackle box. So no intentional grounding, but it does bring up a 3rd and 19 for the Lions here on their opening drive of the second half.
He tried to conjure up the memories of Brett Favre, I was saying, on that play, and it looked like a busted play. Maybe save it. Nah, let's throw it out of bounds and hope a flag's not called.
Exactly.
So we'll reset at 3rd and 19 now. From the 35, Golson pumps right. He's got a man down the middle, but there's also a white man with a white jersey. He touches down as he picks it off in the end zone.
Coulter Hedrick again, his 2nd pick of the game. One that Golson shouldn't have thrown here. He threw into double coverage and just up in the air. Coulter Hedrick with another freebie. So it's a touchback for the Roos, and the Lions, now they don't convert on the big punt, on the big kickoff return. Get down to the 25-yard line. The penalty moves them back. That penalty hurt them so much.
And a heads-up play by Coulter Hedrick. You want to run that out, but he obviously was probably not going to get back to the 20-yard line. So smart heads-up play when you want to just run after you pick it off. He said, you know what, take a knee, put us back at the 20.
Huge game for Coulter right now. Again, 2 interceptions. The first one led to a Roos touchdown 2 plays later. The second interception's in the end zone, negating a possible SAGU point attempt. So Coulter Hedrick doing his job.
Back in the play, hands off to running back inside the 26 now. That's number 7 on the run. That is Sean Sweeney, and our starting quarterback for the Roos is back in the game, Noah Jesko. So we assume he just was taking a breather there towards the back half of the second quarter.
Yeah, taking a breather, or maybe just trying something different, because they did try that long pass that is possible. You put in the backup quarterback, and the defense goes, well, they're doing nothing but running. They're definitely not going to throw now. You throw deep. Almost worked, but just a bit overthrown. But Jesko is back in commanding the Roos now.
Stack the right side of the field, hand up the middle, past the secondary. He's got running room.
He's
one
gone.
man to beat. To the 30, 25, dragged down.
Wow.
Inside the 15-yard line.
I apologize for calling that one too soon. Dalton Snyder chasing down Sweeney, but what a run by Sweeney, breaking it up the middle again. Just huge speed. And just like that, the Roos right back down the field. This rushing attack working very well, but you got to give it to Snyder there. I called it too soon. I apologize for that. He looked gone, but Snyder fighting the whole way. You see right here, just trailing behind him, catches him and pulls him down. But the Roos are at the Lions' 15-yard line, up by 3.
Looked like a simple play off right tackle, and the hole was there, and off he goes.
This is when it's worth mentioning the Roos have not scored in the second half of a game yet this season. They have been outscored 45-0 in their 2 second halves, trying to break that awful trend here.
Handoff up the middle with number 38, gets inside the 10. He gets down to the 8-yard line.
Brock Boyd again. Oh, flags coming in.
Fly now. There was some
hitting on both sides. The question is it going to be offsetting, or are they going to get the guy that retaliated? That's so often the case. The refs will discuss it here.
It's often the second punch or second push.
If it's on the Lions, it'll be a 4-yard penalty. If it's on the Roos, it's going to be a much more damaging. They'll mark it off 15 back to around the 21.
And again, you mentioned Austin College has not scored in the second half, but they're hungry. 14 straight losses get you angry as a ball club, and you're here marching in territory, the Lions, and
We
they
see
want to
right,
punch this in.
right here, personal foul on the Roos and a personal foul on the Lions. So they flag them both, offsets. Nothing really happened there, and so the Roos will have a second and about 3 from the 8-yard line as Brock Boyd picks up 7 straight up the gut. The Roos, like I said, trying to break that scoreless streak in the second half.
Well, it looks like they'll at least come away with the stride with a field goal at worst. but they're
Field
looking
goal
for-
attempt.
Field goal attempt.
I don't believe in automatic field goals. There's too many weird things that happen with that oblong-shaped football.
Some shifting over from the right to left side, and Jesco sets a man in motion. That's Sweeney. He gets the call. Looks for running room to the right, down to the 7-yard line. Not a whole lot there in that play, Tim.
So big third down here for the Lions. Again, with 4-point play coming up right here. If the Roos score a touchdown, they're up by 10. If you hold them to a field goal, 6-point game, 1 possession. So huge 3rd and 2 coming up here for the Lions defense. Can they bend and not break again and bring out the field goal unit for the 3rd time tonight?
Rashad Richardson, number 95 for the Lions, runs off the field, and they bring in a 3rd down and short package to try to possibly stop what looks to be a run. But again, you never know. A play like this, play action fake.
And you can't just stack the box either. The Roos have that speed to take the corners, so you got to think it all
Here's
through.
Sweeney again.
Oh,
There's a
but there's
whistle.
timeout.
false start.
Timeout.
Oh, timeout.
Timeout by the Roos. Looked like the Lions might have caught a break for a moment there, but it is a timeout. We're going to take a very quick one here ourselves with the Roos threatening to increase their lead here in the second half.
Allie Parker is always on the go. There's never a dull moment with Allie. She never slows down. Never. And on top of all this,
She wants to finish her master's degree. Are you kidding me?
Honey, you don't have time to go back to school. The commutes, all the time away from home. It's just not possible.
but Allie has made a discovery. This year, SAGU Films presents the touching story of a woman who defies the odds and earns her master's degree without missing a beat.
Mom, your report card came.
Distance education, now playing at a computer near you.
While we were away, the Lions snuffed out a run. A great stop by Rodney Johnson, which brings up 4th and 5. So here's the field goal unit for the Roos, looking to take a 16-10 lead. There's the kick, the snap, it's up, and it is good. And the Lions now trail by 6. Now, while we were away, a great stop by Rodney Johnson, Tim.
Huge stop. Roos just facing a 3rd and short. Rodney Johnson comes right up the middle and just crushes the running back. So the Lions do again bend but don't break. They trail by only 6, and that's so huge. You keep that deficit down to just 1 possession. You don't let it start getting back out of hand. You were down 10-0 earlier. You fought your way back in.
Right.
So the Lions looking really good right now on defense after allowing the huge run by Sean Sweeney. Again, huge. Again, that makes the stop. The stop right there by the Lions on the return. Such a huge deal now.
That's
because
6 plays on that drive, Tim. 70 yards, took 2 minutes, 54 seconds, 27-yard field goal to give the Roos a 16-10 advantage.
But yeah, Dalton Snyder now with that stop coming from behind means so much more. He saved the touchdown and the Lions hold to a field goal. The Roos will now kick it off again. 8:56 remaining in the third quarter. They do again, off of the turnover by Lions, they score. So 2 Lions turnovers have led to 10 Roos points and possibly took points away from the Lions on that one.
Good observation as the kickoff is going to go on the slight right side in the end zone. He'll take it out to the 10, the 15. He's got running room, got a seam, down past the 30. He's still on his feet. Squirts past the 40. One man to beat, and he's tripped up by number 5. Great shoestring tackle by, we've called his name before, Logan Estes.
Logan Estes saved possibly a touchdown there. All he had to get around was number 46 if he made that one. But good return by the Lions. And again, watch this right here. One man to beat, and Estes saves him. Yeah, all he had to beat was Andrew Klink, the kicker. All it takes is a stiff arm. Although Andrew Klink himself is coming in at 185, so he can make a tackle if he needs to.
He would have put some lumber on, but great field position to start.
Another big return by McKinley. Another big return for the Lions. Offense has got to respond this time. It's starting at the 48-yard line.
Golson to Haynes. Over the left tackle and a fumble, but I believe they're going to mark that play dead just inside the 50. Yes, so a gain of about 4 in the play. 10 brings up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, so another, just going straight back to the run again. Haynes taking it off tackle just a little bit. Just kind of easing ahead for 4 yards. So to bring up a 2nd and 6. Lions got to make something work. I feel like we said this a lot during the Bethany game. It's time to respond. Your defense is held to a field goal again. Your special teams makes a big return. Offense, time to start clicking.
Well, I'm looking at the 17 yards passing, Tim. I want to see that number get up in a hurry, and perhaps it'll go up right now as Golson looks to pass, now takes the run himself, gets down near the first down marker. We'll have to check and see if that has crossed the first down marker. Looked like a passing play, but he just chose to run up the middle.
And you know what? You got to start giving that over to the Ruse defensive backs, to that backfield there. They are not giving Golson, because Golson won't throw the ball. He's not just a quarterback who's like, oh, I'm just going to run any chance I can possibly get. But that defensive backs right there, they're doing a great job of shutting down the Lions. Golson isn't having the room to throw, and it's obvious when he's thrown 2 balls up in the air for grabs, and the Ruse have come down with both of them.
Golson, quarterback snap now. He's got the first down, so the Lions will move the chains easily. After 2-yard gain, easily. It's a great quarterback sneak.
Yeah, great push by the front right there. Just giving Golson an easy 2 yards for the first down.
That's 1,500 pounds nearly of wall space to push you forward. So
that should do it.
Their job.
That should definitely do it. So now the Lions down to the 40-yard line, taking their time, being patient. They're not, again, you may not be able to get it all tonight with the way the passing game is for both teams. You just might have to wait and take the runs while you get them. Austin College, of course, is settled in for that and got another field goal off of it. Let's see what the Lions can do here.
Golson, quick throw out, a screen pass, complete to number 7. That's Trevor McKinley. Number 35 on the tackle for the Ruse. That's Nathan Picard. We've called his name at halftime. He had 5 tackles, now his 6th tackle on the evening.
And that's going to be a tackle for a loss. It's going to bring up 2nd and 11 for the Lions. That's one of those things where you could probably use for that to be more of a bubble screen. Give McKinley a lead blocker to try to spring him. Could not get Bass Packard one-on-one for sure. So now the Lions trailing by 6, facing a 2nd and 11. Clock ticking under 6.5 minutes here in the third quarter.
Split receiver left and right. Golson from the shotgun looks to pass. He's got a man open in the flats forward, and that's going to be McDonald.
And that's going to be a first down for the Lions, or it depends on the spot.
Just a quick down and out. 5 and out, wide open. The padding on the safety and the cornerback, and he had the zone open.
And so they're spotting it where it should be a first down. It is. Well, they're waiting. Now they're moving. So it will be a first down. So the Lions, again, you're not looking deep. You're looking short on those passes. And that might be what it has to be tonight. Some nights you say, oh, just go deep, try it deep. Some nights you just can't do that. Some nights you have to stay patient, keep pushing. And, well, for the moment it's working. Lions down to the 30, looking for that end zone.
A great read by Golson to find the open man in that soft spot underneath the zone defense. 4 men out. And wide receiver, and Golson looks to one, and he's got a man open at the 15, down to the 10, inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. That's Austin Martinez. A great snag in the air, and that ball is moved inside
look at this connection. Golson
line.
rolling out left, just seeing Martinez, Martinez splitting out. And again, that right there is a product of Golson's ability to run. The defender had no choice but to break off Martinez a little bit because Golson can split that right down the field quicker than you can blink. So he had to come off his man a little bit. That gave Martinez the room he needed. Picked him apart right down the right sideline, down to the 9-yard line. So the Lions threatening to try to take their first lead of the night. And the Lions will actually call a timeout here.
Looks like their offense wasn't set yet, like 12 men on the field. So let's just call a timeout. They say regroup.
First and goal.
Get a good play in our mind, and let's try to punch this ball in the end zone.
Yeah, and that's been the problem so far for the Lions this season is getting inside getting inside the 20, getting inside the 10, and not being able to score. You know, I mean, obviously it's great when you have a kicker like James Gish to kick all those field goals. But we know from watching the Bethany game that probably 2 of those field goals should have been touchdowns if he kept on moving. So this is a crucial space for the Lions. You've been playing three-point ball with the Roos for a while now. It was 10-7, it was 13-10, and you don't necessarily want to make it 16-13. It's time to say, all right, we're taking the lead now. We're taking over this second half. We know that's your weakness, and we're going to target it. And so, I mean, again, how do you respond right here if you're thinking for the Lions, though? You finally got the passing game working a little bit, but, I mean, I guess that's good, though. I guess that's good. You now have to make the Roos think about it. We have to think about it now. 5 minutes ago, you have to run now. You're at the 9-yard line. You have to run no matter what. But now everybody has to think about it because a couple of complete passes for the Lions changed the nature of the game.
They want to amend for those 2 turnovers that have resulted in 10 points for the Roos. So Golson looking to put 6 back on the board for the Lions. He's got a man open the middle. It's deflected. It's intercepted. Intercepted in the end zone by number 28 for the Roos, DeAndre Holmes.
And they just ruled, and there's a flag on the field, but the way the Roos were waiting for it, yeah, it's a penalty on the Lions. That is declined. What a heartbreaker for the Lions there. Ball, watch Reed Golson over the middle here, tipped up in the air, diving catch by DeAndre.
Great work by our camera crew to catch that interception.
What a great play by the Roos defense, buckling down.
We just mentioned the turnovers, Tim.
Yeah.
2 turnovers. They're looking to rectify that, and now we've got 3 turnovers.
And that unquestionably just took points off the board for the Lions down at the 9-yard line. Austin College defense holding strong tonight. When you think about that, that's a story we haven't mentioned yet. Austin College has only allowed 10 points to this team. This team isn't the most firepower offensively, but they have the ability. They have the ability to get those yards. 3 turnovers forced by the Austin College. It's led 10 points so far. If you're the Lions defense, man, back out on the field, trailing by 6, needing to make a stand.
Noah Jesko back under center. Puts a man in motion. Pitch back to number 7. That's Sweeney. And he's wrapped up. Back on his feet and wrapped up again. He'll be stopped at the 27-yard line. Brings up second and 4 for the Roos.
Roos got to like where they are right now, really, when you think about the trust that they can put in their defense. And so far, again, we've talked about the Lions defense bending but not breaking. Lions defense hasn't had that big play yet. They've forced 10 turnovers for the first 2 games, 6 last week. They have not been able to force that turnover yet. Lions -3 in the turnover department at the moment. And in a 6-point game, that might be the only story you need for why the score's that way.
Right. Shaquem Taylor sneaks up, shows blitz. They pull back. There's a handoff over the left side up to the 29-yard line.
That's Boyd again, Brock Boyd. A couple more yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. And, I mean, to my recollection still, the Lions have not forced a 3-and-out. So a chance here late in the 3rd quarter to force your first 3-and-out of the ball game. You see Boyd go up the middle here. He gets brought down pretty quickly, but it doesn't matter. When you have his strength, you just hit the middle and drag a few guys forward, bring up a 3rd and short.
Really need a stop here to kind of somewhat negate that turnover, get the ball back in good field position, give Golson a chance to redeem himself in his offense. And that's a nice stop, great stop, number 47 on the Lions.
But it won't be a stop soon enough as number 47, Kevin Leonard, goes right up the gut. Gets about 2 yards.
Stopped by Tyler Acox. I think I'm saying his name right. Acox.
And so now another fresh set of downs for the Roos, taking their time. I doubt they're trying to run the clock out yet, but you got to think they like their slow, methodical play that right now. They're just grinding down the field, handing the ball off on 3 straight times. The Lions know what they're going to do, and yet they still can't stop it consistently.
Here's a blitz by the Lions. Quarterback rolls right and throws a...
That's a live ball.
That may be picked
up. That's a live ball.
Interception by the Lions, and there could be another penalty. 66 just... There it is. 66 just cold-cocked one of the SAGU players after the interception happened. You can tack on 15 yards that interception on a circus type. Looked like went off a foot up in the air. A SAGU Lion dove for it and caught it before it hit the ground.
Nicky caught him with the picker, and oh, this is not good. This is not good. He is down off of what was just a blatant
late hit.
It looked like it might have even been helmet to helmet. So it will be a personal foul on the Roos.
Not sure who the SAGU
player
is.
He's motioning towards the Lions. And There's some discussion going on here. He's pointing towards the Lions. I'm not sure what that could be. Let's see if we can see what happens on the interception here. Throw off of the back of his ankle. What a pick by Econom. That's
Great
unbelievable. That's absolutely unbelievable. We see right now
like
that's
number 91. We just closed him a
Taylor
moment ago.
Acox is down.
Tyler Acox, 5'10", 200-pound
Watch
freshman
this.
from
Watch
Arbor,
this get
Oklahoma.
off
That's
the
an
back of
amazing
his
interception.
ankle.
Great heads-up play, Tim.
That right there. Well, I mean, let's just say that belongs on YouTube tomorrow for sure. What a bizarre interception. Unfortunately, not a very, obviously very unsportsmanlike at the end off the interception. A late hit. Personal foul is the call, and he's still motioning towards the Lions. And he's still motioning towards the Lions, and he ejected a player.
It seems like he may have been pointing the wrong way.
I feel like
Can't
from
confirm that,
the
but 66 just cold cock number 91.
yeah,
After the
if
play
what
was
he just
whistled dead.
if what he just said is true, well, if what we believe is true, Russell Gentry has been ejected. But both times the official pointed toward the Lions. Obviously, we saw nothing that would indicate any Lions player did anything worth a personal foul, and obviously we saw what happened for the Ruse. That would have been the personal foul and worthy of ejection because it was quite a brutal hit. They do have Tyler Acox off the field now. I have still not seen the yardage marked off for the penalty. The officiating team is still trying to get.
And there comes.
And now they're pointing
Looks
towards
like
the
they're
Ruse.
walking the
So
correct way. Finally got it pointed the right way.
They finally realized who the penalty was on. They mark it down to the 25-yard line. So on a bizarre interception, just one of the weirdest interceptions I've ever seen. Absolutely bizarre.
The front of someone's foot.
Yeah, and then what a read by Econom coming in. This is third pick on the season. Just reading in, diving for that ball. Offense, here you go, right back. You threw the pick. Make something happen.
Golson hands off to Cade Leshner, who gets down to the 23-yard line, looking for a way to erase the memory of that pick in the end zone just a few moments ago.
And I was just saying how the Lions defense hasn't made that big play yet. Well, that was it. You had a bizarre situation. Econom never gave up on that ball.
Number 50, Brooks Ward on the tackle for the Ruse. This is a huge drive, I think, Tim. Just the momentum could shift right here. The interception, the personal foul, the late hit. This is a chance to turn the whole momentum of this game around for the Lions.
Oh, absolutely. They need to score a touchdown here. If you do, you like where you're sitting.
Golson drops back the pass, looks down the middle. He has a man. He's open, a touchdown, Lions! Number 2, Nick Morphew from Grandview, Texas. I believe that's one of his former high school connection mates.
The Grandview connection, as
yes,
you love to call it. Golson connects right over the middle of Morphew. Look at this replay here. Golson going back, sees him the whole way, leads him perfectly.
Relive the glory days, high school, college, doesn't matter. Golson to Morphew, and this game is tied at 16-all, and Golson's happy on the sidelines.
He's got to love that. They've been fighting and fighting. They finally get through, quickly convert off the interception, and here is Gish with the chance to give the Lions their first lead of the night. It's
and
up,
he does.
and it's good. 17-16.
So the crowd on their feet in Lumpkin Stadium. Judah cheering the crowd on as the Lions roar back and take a 17-16 lead after a bizarre interception.
Yeah, bizarre interception. That could be, I mean, you talk about turning points of the game. You got 18 minutes left. Too much time, obviously, to begin talking about anything in a one-point game. But mark that one down.
Everyone's happy in the sideline. Look at that guy, not even pads is fired up.
Well, you're not in pads. You're pretty fired up, so it makes sense. Just a bizarre interception. Nick Morphew getting a drink after a big catch, steps into the end zone. Again, I mean, that interception,
wow.
What a play by Econom making the pick. Then the very unwise move by the by the offensive lineman making the hit he shouldn't have made. Gives the Lions a 25-yard field, and they quickly respond right over the middle, get in the end zone, and right here you see the replay again.
He's looking at the right side the whole time, found a man right underneath the zone between the quarterbacks and the safeties, and bam, touchdown,
Yeah,
Nick Morphew.
He never looked anywhere else. That drive went 2 plays, 25 yards, 43 seconds, 23-yard pass from Golson to Morphew, and just like that, you talk about how big a drive that was. Lions jump ahead for the first time of the night, and if you're the Ruse,
here we go again.
You can't help but feel, oh no, not this again, not this leading at halftime business, and all of a sudden find yourself behind. Going to be a big drive for their offense coming up, trying to resort from that.
And the crowd's still on their feet on the Lions side of the football stadium as there's a fair catch. You can do that in kickoffs
Yeah,
now.
you can do that. You can do it on kickoffs at the 21. Also worth noting for the Roos, because of what happened on that last drive with the ejection, they're going to be short a man on offensive line. Obviously, they'll replace him. But you lose one of your starting offensive linemen.
Gentry.
Yeah, Russell Gentry.
Senior 295-pounder from North Richland Hills. That leadership on the line now a deficit for the Roos the rest of this ball game.
Your right tackle that you started is now gone, and all you've done so far is run. And so when you lose a key member of your offensive line on just, again, not a very smart move at all on his part. I'm not sure if he maybe thought the play was still alive and was trying to make a block or what, but the play was definitely unnecessary.
I look for the Lions now to really stack the box, perhaps blitz more, to really test that right side of the line and see if this second
the ball is marked at the 27. The fair catch happened at the 22. Don't know if there's a 5-yard infraction there somewhere, but they have the ball at 27.
There's a pitch back to Sweeney again. He's got running room around the outside. Trickles, he's still in bounds, and he's stepped out of bounds.
What a throw. That ref threw the flag from the Lions 38. It lands at the Roos 42. It might be one of the best throws we've seen all night. We'll see what the call is.
There's 3 quarterbacks on the field tonight.
They'll talk it over.
The accuracy of that yellow flag, too, right where he wanted to land.
It's a legal block in the back on the Roos, so that'll negate much of the Sweeney run. Depends on when the spot happened. So the Roos quickly stepping back, walking right back to where they've been.
And if you're a Lions fan, a Lions player, this is the momentum shift we talked about before the touchdown. You've got to have it. They delivered up 17-16 now, and the Roos are on their heels. They're a man down on offense, their starters. They've now been called for several penalties, and the Roos look a little shaken right now, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, well, you can't help it be. You had that 16-10 lead. You got the pick in the end zone. You had that pick in the end zone that negated those Lions points, you felt like. You go right back down there. And then, to no fault of their own, the throw was low. That's an incomplete pass 99 times out of 100. I don't know, maybe that's not right. Maybe 999
times out of 1,000. That's an incomplete pass.
The heel goes up. You just can't shake that memory of how did that happen. We're jinxed. Sweeney tries to hurdle some players, and he goes down hard on his back, but gets some of the gain back to bring up around a 2nd and 5. But yeah, that right there is when you start to think, okay, we've already had 2 leads disappear on us in the second half. Is the world just against us? We're trying to throw a pass.
We've lost 14 straight games. Help us out a little bit.
We threw a pass to the ground, and it clips the guy's ankle and gets intercepted. I mean, that's when you're in your mind, that's when you get that Chicago Cubs mindset of why? How again? How is this possibly happening to us again? I mean, you just got to look to your quarterback. You got to look to this offensive line to just buckle down and shake those thoughts and try to go back and reclaim this lead.
Here's a play up the middle to Sweeney again, stopped by number 18, Dalton Snyder. The outside linebacker was really playing a defensive end position, just waited. The ball came back to him, and there he's right there on the play, Tim.
Yep.
Great play by Snyder.
So they regained the first down yardage pretty quickly, back up to where the initial run went. So all the penalty cost them was about 2 minutes on the overall clock.
That's a lesson in just staying home, stay in your spot, wait for the play to develop, and then attack when the ball's near you. Don't over commit.
Mm-hmm. So now the Roos moving again, though. Again, that streak of not having 3 and outs is looking good for them right now. Is this rushing attack? Again, look for these defenses. Rushing attacks wear out defense more than wear out an offense. Lions defense needs to stay strong as this keeps on coming.
Man in motion gets a pitch back out past the 40, down near midfield, right at the 50-yard marker. That's another first down for the Roos. They'll move the chains.
Boyd again, just finding his way up for about 12 yards. And this really does speak to how good, I guess, this offensive line is, how good these running backs are. The Lions, I mean, just go ahead and call the same play over and over again. The Roos will be running. If they throw, it's because it's 4th and 18. You see right here around the corner again. He's not the fastest guy on the team, but he just rumbles forward to get the blocks they need.
And notice he ran left, not right on that big play. So perhaps your comment about the right guard being gone, was a factor in that play.
I mean, the Lions know they're running, but they just can't stop it as they run again.
Another pitch back again to Sweeney. He's finding more room. Tripped up by number, is that 18? 18 again on the play.
So yeah, that's
Dalton Snyder. So check that 19. That's Deontay Morrison.
So another 6 yards, and that's all it takes if you're the Roos.
Sure.
If you run for 6 yards on 2 straight plays, you get a first down. The Roos are going to walk towards the sideline. They're going to let the third quarter end. The Roos get a field goal, but the Lions strike last. They take a 17-16 lead, and we're going to the fourth quarter with the Lions up by 1. We'll be right back after this.
Allie Parker is always on the go. There's never a dull moment with Allie. She never slows down. Never. And on top of all this,
She wants to finish her master's degree. Are you kidding me?
Honey, you don't have time to go back to school. The commutes, all the time away from home. It's just not possible.
but Allie has made a discovery. This year, SAGU Films presents the touching story of a woman who defies the odds and earns her master's degree without missing a beat.
Mom, your report card came.
Distance education, now playing at a computer near you.
We're back here at Lumpkin Stadium in a tight battle, 17-16. The Lions cling to a 1-point lead as we begin the fourth quarter here. The Roos will set up shop at the 45-yard line of the Lions, hand up the middle, and a wall of Lions. And someone lost their helmet, and that person is still in the scrum. Let's hope his head is okay. Now, he got the tackle.
So the Roos are going to be just short of the first down.
That's number 42 on the tackle. The Jeremiah Mott, we've called his name several times, lost his helmet, held onto the running back to bring down that tackle.
So it's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Roos. If I had to guess, I would think they're going to run here.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But that's the thing.
Passed like 3 or 4 times the entire second half.
It's that predictable, but it's been working.
It's
been working so well. I mean, when your opponent knows what your hand is, but they still can't beat it, you got to say that. You got to chalk that up to being really good at what you do.
Sorry, the defense calls the crowd to their feet, Tim, as they want a big stop, help from the crowd. Let's see if we get it. Morphew hands a quick snap up the middle, and he's got the first down. The Roos will move these chains, and they are, to me, showing a lot of grit, a lot of character after some tough penalties, the interception, the bizarre interception, and now the Roos are mounting a nice methodical drive, mostly on the ground, Tim.
Yeah, that's all they have to do. And again, you run those first 2 times, set up a 3rd and a short, and just look the Lions in the eye and say, okay, you really think you're going to stop us? With our running backs, with our speed and our power? I mean, it's going to take a lot to stop us. So the Lions have not been able to consistently do it yet. They've done a good job of not giving up touchdowns. So we'll see if they can find a way to do that again here.
And in motion again, he gets the pitch. It's like the same play. They run over and over, just once left, once right, and that's Brock Boyd once again, and number 8 in the tackle, Brad Heathcock.
And nothing flashy about that. No one's going crazy. No one's on the Austin College side is on their feet going crazy with that. They should. That's another gain of 4, and that's all they need. They need a gain of 4, a gain of 4, and a gain of 4, and they get to do it again. It's as simple as that. It's just a very methodical running to the corner here, keeping his head up, putting a little stiff arm out there.
And hats off to our camera crew tonight. Doing an outstanding job, giving us great replays. So kudos to our student crew here at SAGU.TV, bringing you high-definition content available, one of the few available in the NAIA world. So we're glad to bring it to you here in Waxahachie, Texas, Lumpkin Stadium, as the ball goes forward to near the first down marker again, Tim. Again, forget the air. Let's just hand off the ball.
Yeah, because like I said, it's just that simple. Sounds like a broken record, but that's all Austin College's offense is. It's a broken record. We're going to keep going over. We're going to keep running at you. We're going to run left, run right, run up the middle. That's going to be a first down. We challenge you to break our offensive line, and it's happened once or twice. That's been the big plays. Right. So now the Roos, again, another 3rd and 2. Keep on hearing it here. Can the Lions find a way to, well, just break the record, period, and keep it from continuing to skip right over them?
11 tackles on the night by Heathcock already, having a great ball game. Let's see if he can continue to impress the crowd and his coaches. And a timeout here called by the Roos. They didn't like their setup, and so we're going to have a break in the action as the Roos, on a very important drive here in the fourth quarter, really need to put some points on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, field goal gives them the lead still, so that's something worth considering. Are they in field goal range right now, do you think? They're at 31. That'd be about a 48-yarder, and their kicker has had quite a leg.
He is into the wind, Tim, so I would probably guess they'd like to get at least 5, 6, maybe 10 more yards, and then perhaps give the kicker a shot to get this through the uprights.
Of course, what am I asking? The Lions do stop them here on 3rd and 2. The Roos got to be thinking, what are the odds of them stopping us twice? So at this point,
That's a good point.
I'd be surprised if on a 4th and short, if the kicker did come walking out. But again, we always talk about 4th down too early. It's 3rd down still. Lions defense has got a job to do, and so do the Roos offensive line. Just been a clash. The Lions defense, again, bend but don't break. That's been all night. They've given up 3 field goals, but only 1 touchdown on that 25-yard drive off of the field goal. Off the interception. The rest have all been field goals.
Young linebacker crew for the Lions can stop them. And there's Sweeney's around the outside, but a dead ball whistle, and the play is stopped.
The refs will discuss what this is, and the refs are counting Lions. That's never a good thing if you're being counted.
That's inexcusable coming out of a timeout, Tim. You cannot have anything but 11 Lions if that's the call. That's absolutely inexcusable.
And the Lions are beckoning. They're saying
they do have 11.
They're saying they only had 11. I only see 11 out there at the moment. And that's what the coaches are saying. There's only 11 guys out there. Count them again.
No one's left the field, so let's count them.
I mean, unless somehow a line had inadvertently, but it didn't look like that. If it had been a line who was inadvertently at the sideline, the referee would have called it immediately without counting. The referee went back in to count the players.
Right.
They're waving the flag off.
There are 11.
So, I mean, you kind of hate to say it, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Simple as that.
So,
they're all wearing purple. I can see how you count the same guy twice. There's only 11, though.
You know, and I feel bad for the Roos. That could have been a great play that was negated. He had a wide-open right sweep. Could have gained at least 7, 8 yards. Didn't happen because of a mistake by the referee crew.
Yeah, so in the end, it doesn't hurt the Lions. It does hurt the Roos because it gives the Lions defensive line yet another look at this offensive line, another chance to stop them. If it had gone against the Lions, obviously it would have been a huge play, but the flag is waved off after it is confirmed that 11 is still 11, and the Lions line right back up. So for the 3rd time, we go to the line here, 3rd and 2. The play is still just as big as it was two tries ago.
I'm going to guess a sweep to the left. Here it comes. It's a counter play up the middle. They did fake the sweep.
This
to
is going to
Boyd,
be close.
And that
we
was
have
handed off to
conflicting
number 7.
Sweeney. Marks from the refs, but it looks like it's going to be just enough. One ref is around the 19, one's around the 18, but either way, that's going to be enough for a 1st down for the Roos. Chains move again, and the foolproof plan is working. Great wrap-up by the Lions. That was definitely a generous spot by the refs. I'm not sure if he got all the way to the 39.
Was that a makeup call from the other play before? I don't know.
I'm not sure. He definitely I think he got the 1st down, but they definitely gave him an extra yard down to the 38. But the Roos, nonetheless, still just flying down the field. So 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line of the Lions.
Under 12 minutes remaining in this ball game, and the Roos looking to take the lead again after holding the lead most of this game. Here goes Brock Boyd again in motion, and he gets the ball, and he's wrapped up about a yard gain on that play.
So big play right there. The Roos have been doing a good job of getting 6 or 7 on that first run each time. Now you break up the rhythm a little bit of just the gain 7 and then gain 2 and 2, and you're good. So just a 1-yard gain.
I'm impressed by the offensive line of the Roos. Everyone knows they're going to run. All 22 players know there's going to be a run, and they're still getting yardage.
I just got to imagine here in a minute the Roos are again going to try a play action or something. I mean, I can't imagine being more caught off guard than the Lions would be right now. I'm having a hard time. The interception was the last Roos pass.
True.
So there's not been one on this drive to my recollection.
Sweeney in motion.
And here comes one right here.
Here's a pass. You called it, Tim. And that is
what
deflected
a breakup.
and broken up.
What a breakup by Nicky Conham.
Caught him again.
He comes across the field. The ball was in the receiver's hands, and he just swatted it out. So the Roos stunned us all by going back to pass. And again, it almost works, except for the suffocating coverage of Nick Econom.
The All-American Nick Econom. So
All-American.
perhaps that's one reason why they're not throwing to his side very often. They tried it once, and Nick said, no, not going to happen.
So now it brings up a 3rd and 9. And you force the Roos into a passing down. A non-passing team, the defense finally does the job of forcing him into a passing down. Lions lining the sideline, hoping they have a chance to get back out there and play some offense with possibly still a lead. We'll see what happens here on this play.
Jesko under center, looks left, pump fakes right, now rolls right, throws to nobody. And that'll bring up 4th down, Tim, and the Lions hold their ground again.
Bend but don't break. That's somewhere that's a Lions motto. This is going to be a 44-yard field goal into the wind, although the wind has definitely died down from what we were seeing in the first half. The flags are not nearly as stiff as they were, but a 44-yard field goal, not a gimme by any means, but the Roos trying to take the lead back.
Right hash mark, again, 34, make it 44-yard line. The kick is up. It's got plenty of leg. Is it good? No,
good.
Wide left. Wide left, and the SAGU sideline's going crazy. The crowd on their feet. The Roos remain 1 point behind. A great defensive stand by your SAGU Lions.
Absolutely a huge defensive stand because they didn't let them get close enough for that to be a truly makeable field goal. So it goes wide left. The defense lets them down the field a little ways.
Rocky Davis, number 21, congratulating, giving high fives to his teammates. A great, great stop by our SAGU line defense. And Golson will take over at the 27-yard line. Now here, do you run the clock out? Do you just begin to run the ball more, Tim, when you keep the ball in the air?
There's 10:45 of the game. There's no clock to run out yet. The clock gets run out at 2 minutes and 2 minutes only. Right now, if you Lions, running's been working. Your running game has been working, although you were picking up in the air the last few drives.
Golson in the shotgun. He hands off over to number 1. That's Sean Haynes, and he gets nowhere.
Yeah.
It's a loss of 2 yards.
He just had to do a good job of getting that, just be a loss of 2 yards. He was out around the 20-yard line on that play, pushed all the way back. Not a very good progression of events for the Lions on that one.
Great pursuit by the Roos linebacker core to make that a loss in the play. That brings up 2nd and 12 for the Lions. And, maybe it wouldn't hurt to go over the air, over the top.
Well, you need to get down the field. Obviously, this is just a 1-point game, and the Roos have shown no signs of stopping when they're coming down the field. The Lions defense did a good job of clamping down. But you can't, in a 1-point game, just say, all right, we're going to run 2 minutes off the clock and punt it away.
No. Golson hands up to number 1, Sean Haynes again.
Ball
Maybe
comes
back to the
out.
line of scrimmage. The ball's loose, and a Root player has it, but the ball is going to be marked down, which brings up 3rd down and probably 10.
Yeah, third and a long 10 for the Lions coming up here. You definitely got a passing down in this situation. I understand your tentativeness to this because you have 3 interceptions. But, that's just the way it's got to be. 2 of those were decisions that Golson just shouldn't make again.
Right.
Just bad throws
Right.
shouldn't make again. One was just a great defensive play by the Roos on the deflection. So you got to say, hey, we got to go to the air. We have a quarterback that can do it. We got some great receivers out there. You got to trust that connection.
They line up in the spread to do so. Golson looks to pass, now runs forward. He's stopped by number 91 and a couple of other Roos players. Check that. That's Trey Stewart on the stop for Austin Kangaroos.
And so
There comes the punting unit.
couldn't get the pass off again. Again, got to give credit to that secondary for the Roos. It gave up the touchdown pass, but if the quarterback goes back, gets 4 seconds to pass, and doesn't unleash the pass, it means you got everybody covered. And that's a good thing for that secondary. So the punter comes in. The wind is at his back. The Lions will give it right back to the Roos. Still ahead by 1 in what's becoming very quickly a nail-biter as the clock dwindles towards 0.
There's a pump by Stewart.
Oh, that's high.
High and a little bit short. It goes out of bounds around the 40-yard line. They're going to mark that back to the 48-yard line.
Last week on the road, Stephen Stewart had a punt that netted only 2 yards. It went off the side of his foot, went out. Lions defense stood strong and forced an interception right after it. But that's been a problem with Stewart, having the ball come off the side of his foot.
Right.
And it gives the Roos great field position, and they haven't necessarily needed great field position so far, getting down the field quickly. Start at the 48. So just to recap, 8:32 left, 1-point game. Roos at the ball at the 48-yard line. Tell your friends to get on their computers and watch the end of this one because it is going to be an exciting end.
down to the end, and here's a handoff over to Sean
Sweeney.
Sweeney again, and he's got a first down. A great run.
No, he looks like he stepped out of bounds just short.
Just short.
Just short, actually 2 yards short. So the Lions forced him to the sideline quick enough. But 8 yards on first down, bring up a second and short. Lions defense, again, you got to be worn out. You've just been chasing the Roos all night. You haven't had the luxury of just dropping back to pass, playing man-to-man coverage. Like I said on our last broadcast, when you cover a pass, you pick your man, you guard him. Whereas a run, all 11 guys are responsible for running towards that guy. So all 11 guys are running on every play towards the same guy, chasing after these speedy Roos.
Plus Sweeney or Boyd. Boyd, Sweeney, you don't know who's going to get the ball. Both are very, very fine running backs for the Roos. And Sweeney gets the call again.
Looks to be just short, though. Looks like a line is shooken up on the play, though. Believe that's number 99 for the Lions. That's number 99, who's not showing up on my roster.
Rodney Johnson.
You got him on your roster. You have a better roster than I do.
As he scrambles off the field, and the Lions bring in their 3rd and short defensive package.
Again, 3rd and 1.
Sweeney's got 170 yards, Tim, on 27 carries. A great, great night for Sean Sweeney, number 7 for the Roos, as the Roos now look at 3rd and 1. And a handoff to, I think that's the fullback.
Yeah, that right there is Kevin Leonard, who is the fullback. He's got some carries tonight, too. Just a big guy, weighs 200 pounds, 5'10", barrels forward. Gets an easy first down on the 40-yard line. Clock's under 8 minutes now. 1-point game. Whew, are you feeling it in here yet? Is it?
Absolutely.
It's getting hot in here right now because it is getting tense towards the end. You can look at that Lions sideline right now. They are looking in. They know how important this is.
Sweeney in motion, gets the handoff, pitch I should say, and he trips forward for a 3-yard gain. Number 48 on the tackle for the Lions. Billy Manning from Mansfield, Texas, just up the road in Mansfield, Texas.
So 2nd and 8 coming up for the Roos. Again, very tense moments right here. 1-point game. The Roos, with under 7 minutes left, know they need to score this time. They give the ball back to the Lions. With under 7 minutes left, with how good these teams have been running, you might not see it again.
That's very
this
true.
Is huge time for the Roos to capitalize.
2nd and 8, and guess what? A run again. This one's going to be Brock Boyd, and he puts his head forward, and he's down to about the 36-yard line. They're going to say that he was in bounds when he was tackled, so the clock keeps running.
And think about what Boyd did right there. I saw right here. Look at all the Lions swiping at his feet, and it's not even affecting him. He's just blowing right through it, no problem. So, but it does bring up a 3rd and 6 here. Not typically a rundown, but for the Roos, it's middle territory. You got to know you can trust your runners. And again, 4-down territory in this. I'm calling it.
Absolutely.
Definitely 4-down territory. In Lions territory with 6 minutes left. So I would say settle for a run here and see what you can get because you'll be going for 4th down.
Sweeney, sweep right, up the middle, or up past the right side to the 33-yard line.
Billy Manning on the tackle again, and that's going to bring up about a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2 or 3, and that will definitely be run time for the Roos. I don't think you're going to try a 49-yard field goal if it would be from here. You're not going to try that in this situation when you've been running this good. So, ladies and gentlemen, 4th down and 2 as we take under 5.5 minutes left. This is not the ball game, but this is a huge moment in the ball game.
And the crowd senses it, Tim. Cheerleaders, the crowd, the football players exhorting the crowd to get up on their feet. They sense the enormity of this play. 4th and 2, nearing 5 minutes left in this ball game, and now a timeout. The Roos say, well, let's just think about this for 1 second.
That is interesting. No, that's the Roos' last timeout. In a 1-point game with 5:09 remaining, the Roos have just used their last timeout. It's a big moment. That's how big a moment this is, that the Roos head coach, who I might point out is Lauren Dawson. He's in his 3rd year up there in Sherman, Texas, coaching these Roos. But, I mean, that's just he understands that this is that big. With 5:09 left in a game where even if you score, the Lions will get the ball back, and you may be looking to try to drive down at the end yourselves, you are willing to use your 3rd and final timeout to talk over this play.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I would be stunned if anything is being said in there but who to block and who to let through for the run. Lions looking in, very tense right now, staring in, look like right there. at those faces, just knowing
Nicky
this
Conham
defense
leads
can hold.
leads the team back out in the field. They can just sense one more stop, just one more stop. And this ball game could be the Lions to claim as a victory as they hold on to a 17-16 lead. And here come the Roos. Back to pass. It's a screen pass, and they're going to get the first down.
No!
Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
What a stop.
Out of nowhere, number 21 with a fantastic
Rocky Davis.
stop.
What a stop by Rocky
Wide
Davis.
open past the first-time marker, and Rocky Davis just clipped him.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Roos stun everybody. Look at this right here. The Roos stun everybody going a screen pass. Watch Rocky Davis here with the tackle
A little
of the
trickery,
night.
and at this point, it looked like a wide open first down, and just Davis just dives for the feet head first and does a circle tackle.
What a stop by Rocky Davis, bringing down number 82 for the Roos. Number 82, that is Travis McClinton. He weighs 230. He's 6'5". He's not that easy to bring down, but Rocky Davis, look at him just upend him like that, reading him the whole way. It looked like the entire Lions defense had been fooled. We were fooled. I said right here, there's no way they're calling anything but a run on 3rd and 2. Biggest surprise play of the night. They threw a little screen pattern out there. It looked like all 11 had fallen for it, but number 21 hadn't. Reads it out.
Outstanding play
upends
by
him.
Rocky.
Now it's time for the
Golson,
offense.
now they're going to run the ball. It looks
Fumble.
like the ball's
That's a
loose. The
fumble.
ball's loose. And the Roos have it back.
What a
Leshner.
play. There was a bad exchange. I saw it from right here. A bad exchange between Golson and Leshner. Never got in his hands.
Never got it.
Fumbles it straight in. That is recovered by number 35, Nathan Packard for the Roos. Just like that, Rocky Davis's apparently game-saving tackle. The ball is right back in the Roos' hands at the 30-yard line. Wow. Fresh set of 10.
Wow.
Under 5 minutes left. Oh, the Lions, what an error there. Cade Leshner. Oh, bless his heart. He has got to be hurting right now on that poor exchange between quarterback to running back. 4 turnovers for the Lions.
2 resulting in 10 points. So let's hope they can stop them on this drive. And this will help things right here. A gang tackle begun by number 34 for the Lions. Kendall Evers wraps up the running back.
What a thing to ask your defense. That's oh man, the defense just with Rocky Davis just stops a huge 4th and 2, and the Lions, again, they're playing the safe route, saying, "Hey, let's run. Let's try to get the yards. At least milk the clock down." The Roos have no timeouts.
Has to be right, though,
the Roos have no timeouts. If you can just run 3 times, you run 2 minutes off the clock, punt it away. The Roos have it back with 2 minutes left and no timeouts.
Got to protect the ball in that exchange. Got to protect the ball. But
now, and you know the Roos can just run this clock now because they don't want to score too quick.
Sure. Here's Sweeney again, a familiar play, a sweep around the outside.
But again, nice stop by the Lions. That's number 19, Deontay Morris, who wraps up around his ankles, brings up a 3rd and 8, and the Roos are facing a similar dilemma. I'm sorry, 3rd and 9, only a 1-yard gain. Oh no, and Sweeney, it looks like he is being treated to right now. Generally, that means he's cramping up, and this will be an injury timeout for the Roos, which, when you're out of timeouts, I believe necessitates that the player must leave the field.
For at least one play.
For at least one play. So you're looking at 3rd and 9 with no Sean Sweeney.
But they do have Brock Boyd, who's had an outstanding game for the Roos. So, again, we talked earlier about the two-prong attack that the Lions have faced all night long. 2 very able running backs. So the Lions will be faced with perhaps a Brock Boyd run. I think pass, though. I think at this point, 3rd and 9, they're going to have to throw the ball.
Well, again, similar dilemma right now. I mean, this is a long field goal. Again, this is going to be if you don't make any more yardage on this, if you don't incomplete pass, you're looking at about a 46-yard field goal. That's a lot to ask your kicker. So the Roos go under center, facing a big 3rd and 9. The clock starts ticking again.
I think they're going to run to center the ball up over the hash mark.
No, here comes the pass.
He goes back to pass. He looks open. He's got a man open. And it's a touchdown by the Roos. Caught by number 16.
P.J. Fuller. My goodness, what a play right there. P.J. Fuller has 3 catches for 134 yards on the year, and that's his biggest one so far. The Roos, again, get wide open. What a throw by Jesco, just reading him the whole way. And just like that, oh, what a turnover for the Lions. That has got to sting so much.
Here's the replay.
Yes.
He had P.J. the whole way, and he beat his man, and there it is, touchdown.
That right there looks like an exact draw-up of the Lions' touchdown play. Again, the quarterback just looking the center field the whole way. But this one, so huge. The Lions with what a turnover. And the Roos
And
will
the Roos
go,
gotta
for two, trying to stretch the lead to 7
To
points.
7 points. And
That's a false
there's gotta be
start.
a whistle there somewhere. That'll push the Roos back to the 7-yard line, and we'll see if they still want to go for two. I doubt they will.
Well, no, at this point, a extra point is essentially negligible at this point, I would say. But it looks like maybe they've changed their minds. No, they'll bring a different set. They're staying for
Yes,
two.
you're
An
right.
extra point, I mean, I never liked that mentality of, oh, let's go up by 6. You're betting money if the other team scores a touchdown
They'll probably make the extra
that
point.
they're going to miss it. You can't count on James Gish to make an extra point. You're better off going for 2 here. At the very least, worst case scenario, this game is tied. But wow, what a turn of events.
DJ Fuller, 29-yard reception, 10 minute 9 seconds, a short drive, 30 yards,
That's all they had
3
to go.
plays.
That's all they had to go. I have whiplash for how quick a momentum turn that was. After the Rocky Davis stop, the bad exchange, 3 plays later, fake pitch out right.
Big pitch to the right, left, all day to throw, high lob over everyone's head, incomplete. So the Lions have 3:32 left. Now they trail by 5.
Wow, just again, what a turn of events right there. And turnovers. Turnovers. You can yell them all night. The Lions with 2 touchdowns given up, but how can you possibly blame this defense? The 2 touchdown drives were 30 yards on that last one, and I believe 26 on the first one. Checking our
I believe
stats
that is
here.
right.
Yeah,
That is
26 yards after the initial interception by Golson to make the game 10-0, and then to fall behind by 5. So that's 13 points directly off of turnovers. Got to hold on to that ball. That's just something you've got to do. Because of it, the Lions now facing a do-or-die situation. 3:32 left. They have 2 timeouts. They're down by 5. This is the pressure cooker if you are Reed Golson. This is the moment you have to step up and say, this is my football team now. I'm not going to let this happen again. I'm not going to let the same old story of just coming up short happen again. He's got to take over on this drive.
Gish's foot's not going to help. You've got to have 6, and I believe this could be a key drive for the entire season, and here's why. You lose this game, you fall to 1-2, and that's just a terrible way to start the season. You win this game, and you're at 2-1, and that's the start you mentioned we have to have this year, 2-1. So huge drive approaching for the Lions as Trevor McKinley gets wrapped up around the 25-yard line. So
it's worth mentioning Golson has been here before. Last year's season opener against Howard Payne, the Lions were leading late. And a bizarre play, a snap over a quarterback's head, return for a touchdown, gave Howard Payne a 15-14 lead. Golson came back in just a minute and a half, took the team all the way down the field, scored a touchdown, won the game 21-15. So Golson has done it before, and he's got to do it again right here. Like you said, 1-2 is not acceptable. With the goals this team has set, you can't lose to a team
that's not won in 14 games.
Yes.
Golson now rolls left, looks for a man, now keeps it, rolls back right. He's in trouble. He's going to go down. A huge play by the Roos defense.
Number 50, Brooks Ward Golson.
12-yard loss in the play.
Golson did not have enough time to spend that much time on the play. Looking. That secondary for the Roos shutting it down. And just like that, this drive just got that much harder. 2nd and 22. Clock is under 3 minutes left. There's not much time left if you're planning on trying to punt this ball. You've got to find a way to get 22 yards here.
You got to find a receiver downfield in a hurry to at least get this back to maybe a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4.
Spending a lot of time under center.
Short. You've got to have that line's got to do their job. But Golson is in trouble. Spins free, still free. Throws an odd ball that's thankfully hit the ground before it hit the hands of 35, the defensive player for the Austin
that was
Kangaroos.
almost another. That was a pick by Nathan Packard almost. He had the fumble recovery that at the moment stands to be the absolute, again, pure whiplash moment. How fired up this crowd was after that Rocky Davis start to then have the bad exchange. Not a whole lot of that. Those faces were a lot happier after that stop on 4th down.
This is one of the worst drives. We're only 2 plays in. It's one of the worst executed drives I've seen all night.
Well,
wrong time to do this.
Since the absolute first drive of the game, this is not looking good after the big sack. And again, the offensive line let the players in again right there, forcing Golson to an off-even pass.
Rolls right. He's got time. He looks for a man. He steps up, fires the ball, and it's deflected
almost
and
intercepted. That was
brings up
almost
4th down.
Stephen Young, who's a linebacker and also a punter for the Roos, should they need him, almost makes the pick.
Okay,
And,
Tim, what do you do? It's 2:26 left, 4th down. You have to punt the ball.
No, Golson is walking. Wow. With 2:26
You have
left.
2 timeouts left. You've got to. You know they're going to run the ball. If you do not get the first down, the game is over.
I'm amazed right now that the Lions are gambling this game on a 4th and 22. I mean, punting. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth for sure.
It gives you a glimmer of
but
hope.
it gives you some percentage of hope.
Well,
I guess they've decided the percentage of a 22-yard gain is higher than a punt.
Here we go.
I do not
Play
like
the
this
game.
call, Rob.
Golson, plenty of time. Only a 2-man rush. He throws deep over the middle, and that's going to be over everyone's head. The Roos will take over possession deep in Lion territory, and the Lions walk off the field.
And that's
dejected.
why I don't like it. I mean,
Should have punted.
at this point, what are your odds of victory? The best case scenario, you're able to hold the Roos on 3 straight plays. The Roos run the clock down to under a minute and a half and kick a field goal and go up by 8.
And you still have a chance to conceivably tie. But
I know.
You've
Leah,
given the game over. It's over now.
Punting sounded like a terrible idea for sure, but that was what you were forced into when you had the initial sack. There's never a 0% chance. The Lions had a bad exchange under center themselves, but the Roos don't need much now. They need 14 yards to put it away, and if they can just hold on to the ball 3 plays in a row, they can kick a field goal that will, again, it's only be 8 points. The Lions need to score a touchdown with no timeouts at that point, with a minute and a half left, and then convert for 2. It's not over yet, but wow.
That's the only recourse the Lions have left is to 3 quick stops, burn both timeouts.
When you make contact, try to strip the ball. That's all I can say. Nice tackle by the Lions.
The Lions do call a timeout.
Very quickly call a timeout. Clock is down to 2:13 left.
I just can't get over the fact they didn't punt. They should have punted that ball.
That is,
because field position would have been the same problem, but now you have it 40 yards further away.
Coaching in this situation is not the easiest thing to do. You got to do quick fuzzy math in your head.
Yeah.
And perhaps the coaches met on the sideline and as a group just basically said, hey, you know what? If we punt this ball away, I say we have a 5% chance of winning, but of getting the ball back with time to go down. But I say we have a 6% chance of making 22 yards. Maybe that was the math they did and said, hey, 6 versus 5, let's do it. Either way, very, very, very tough call to make.
Jesse Godding, all right, check that. Looks like that's offensive coordinator. Is that Frank Tristan looking
hard to open up here? The band,
offensive core to give them instructions.
The band is still playing, but
check that defensive instructions.
The band is still playing, and it's still played on the Titanic too. So there's been many noble bands in the past. As the cheerleaders try to
down, Tim.
As the cheerleaders try to
right now.
Egg the crowd on.
Here's a run up the middle again, and again the Lions try to strip the ball.
Oh, careful! Almost looked like a late shove by the Lions there, but it's a quick stop for the Lions. Let's see. So they'll let the play clock run on this one. They'll let the play clock, because they have one timeout left, so it doesn't really matter when you call the timeout. They'll let the play clock run on this one, which is smart because the Roos will have to, again, talking about seconds here, but the Roos will have to snap this ball with about 2 seconds left to avoid the delay of game. If they were trying the field goal, they could just stand right there. Oh, no, I'm sorry, they have no timeouts.
No, they do.
So actually, I would have called the timeout here so that they would have had to rush their field goal unit onto the field after the 3rd down.
Sure.
But here comes what is almost certain to be another run by the Roos.
They might just even kneel on it. You do not want to have the ball stripped. They might just sit down on it.
No, they will run.
He's no
Oh,
hurry.
my goodness.
Oh,
what a stop. What a great stop.
A great stop by Dalton Snyder again.
He saved a touchdown earlier on in this half. And that really, and Dalton Snyder might have saved another one there. It looked like Shaquem Taylor was in the back, might have been able to make the stop, but Dalton Snyder definitely has more strength. So again, not over yet. Not over yet. Perhaps it's maybe we jumped the ship a bit too soon.
The band's still playing?
The band is still playing. KC has not struck out yet. There is still some happiness in Mudville at the moment, as the Roos will have to try a field goal.
Could be a bad snap. Could be a muff kick. You never know.
Could be blocked and returned. Could be blocked and returned for a touchdown. You never know. The defense has done their job, though. You can never stop heralding this defense. They've only given up 2 touchdowns today, and those touchdowns came on drives that went a combined 56 yards. They need to stop this scoring play out like a tarantula.
A minute 19 left, and the screen showing 1 timeout left for the Lions, but I think they took their last timeout.
Yeah, they took their last timeout. So they are being credited a timeout, but that should not be the case when they get the ball back. I'd be surprised if it was. Maybe it slipped the refs' minds.
The kick, it's up, and it looks to be good, and it is good. So the Roos now go up by 8, forcing the Lions to not just score, but now also, Tim, they have to convert a 2-point conversion if they even get down the field into the end zone in the first place.
Yeah. So, and we can say right now there's some vindication for the decision not to punt. Had they punted, the Roos would have a different field to work with, would have possibly not get a first down and ice the game. The decision not to punt, well, it did sacrifice 3 points. We were saying there was still hope. There's still a glimmer of hope now. You got 75 seconds, no timeouts. It can be done. It can absolutely be done. I'm not sure why that timeout is still up there on the board.
Right.
It's possible it's possible a Roos player had an injury on the play or something that had to stop the clock. I do believe it's a typo at the moment, but we'll see what happens. If the Lions try to call timeout, we'll see what happens.
And McDonald has had some good returns today.
Yeah,
I think he's been down to the 40 at least one time earlier in the first half. So the Lions could get a great run back, great field position. 1, maybe no timeouts left. We think there's none up in the booth, but again, the scoreboard shows 1 timeout left. But regardless, the Lions have got to hurry this ball down the field.
Yeah, you definitely can't be staying back in the shotgun formation, waiting for plays to come in the sideline this time. You've got to have every play in Reed Golson's head. And I see it right there. I see Frank Tristan talking to Golson right now on the sideline from my vantage point. And I'm sure he's saying, here's every play we're going to run because we don't have a second to waste. Big kickoff here. Again, yeah, you can get a huge return like you've had before up to the 50-yard line or so. That would definitely make what is looking more and more like a miracle comeback for the Lions a bit more possible.
So the Roos kick off at the 35-yard line, and it's a
squib
kick, and it's going to be taken by one of the up men. And he's going to try to get out of bounds as fast as he can, and he does that.
He should have just knelt down. He could have stopped the clock a lot sooner.
Sure.
And he loses a yard. You don't have to get out of bounds to stop the clock on a kickoff.
And
Clock stops
wasted
anyway.
4 seconds running out of bounds laterally.
And so the Lions will have the ball at about the 31-yard line.
Grant Robinson, a freshman from Katy, Texas.
And again, he's an up man. He's not supposed to touch the ball, so he tried to find something there. Didn't quite work out. So the Lions actually have the ball at the 27-yard line. Minute 10 left. There are no timeouts on the board. That has been corrected. So a minute 10, no timeouts. And I got to say, there probably won't be any more running plays from here on out for the Lions.
Deep breath. Here we go, SAGU fans. SAGU.TV, another exciting game. Can Reed Golson pull it out? He's got plenty of time. Finds man in the middle. Open is Austin Martinez down to the 48-yard line, and the Lions are definitely in hurry-up mode offense as the chains move forward.
Look at this replay.
Check out this replay.
Takes the time.
Great footwork by Golson. Finds an open man underneath the seam, and there it is. So great completion by Austin Martinez, and we're back.
Clock stops on the first down. So the clock rolling now. Golson back again.
Back to throw again. Steps up in the pocket. He got some man. It's number 2, Nick Morphew, his old high school connection.
First down again.
The Lions continue to move the ball.
Here we go again with Reed Golson. First down.
So the clock stops momentarily, Tim. Again, as the chains move, the clock stops for just a moment.
And Reed Golson is going to kill it here. So the Lions will stop the clock just like that. Right down the field. 2 quick passes. Lions down to the Roos 42-yard line.
I hate to say this, but where has this been all game? This energy, this passion. It's like the clock inspires these guys to play better on the offensive side of things.
You see that a lot of times. You see that a lot of times with these players under 2 minutes. Now, there's a little bit of discussion going on here. I don't know what that would be for. The Lions did clock it, so it's going to be 2nd down and 10.
Well, it sounds like they're saying Golson went to a knee before he clocked.
That's what the Roos were arguing. The refs don't oblige, though, so 2nd and 10. But, yeah, you got to – and then right now the Lions do have enough time to still test the middle. That's what the Roos hadn't accounted for. They're covering the sidelines, and Golson finds 2 guys at the middle. That helpful clock stop. So now we have discussion with Godding and the official. And they're not sure what this is about, but the Lions will not complain. They are getting some extra time to think about to call this play up.
You can get a few extra plays into Golson's head. You can do a lot of things in this break. This is a free timeout.
Yeah, essentially.
That the Lions need right now.
Essentially, whatever this discussion is, completely just favored the Lions. They're calling in plays for Golson.
Here we go. Golson in the shotgun at the 42. Looks back to pass. He fires right, and it's
Intercept.
picked off.
Oh, dropped.
Oh, it was picked off and dropped.
Wow,
By 51.
Scott Loy almost
Sat
ended
on that
this
ball, was waiting for it to come, jumped the gun right in front of number 11 McDonald, and had that ball in his hand, Tim.
Scott Loy almost ended this game with a pick. The Lions are still alive though. 3rd down and 10 at 42. They can't celebrate their brief luck too much here. They still have to go 42 yards.
Wow. Lions avert disaster on that play down the right side. So Golson, 3rd and 10 in the shotgun, looks down the middle, just like you said, Tim, and he's got Sean Haynes, the running back.
Right down to the 28. The clock will stop again for the setting of the chains. Golson getting the players up to the line, getting ready to spike this one as soon as he can.
Should be another spike. I doubt they'll have a play in the hopper, and they don't. They'll spike it.
So 30 seconds left. The Lions have fought down to the 28-yard line.
But again, a field goal does no good, Tim.
Go ahead and get me my pen and ink out. I need to start writing apology letters for ever suggesting this thing was over. I was in motivational tactics. I was just trying to get in the players' heads and make them play harder. That's my excuse tomorrow morning. So
the SAGU stands, the students, faculty, staff on their feet here at Lumpkin Stadium.
Lions.
And another nail-biter, Tim.
Yeah, another huge game. It's amazing how many of these come down to the wire. Austin College asking for a false start. They won't get it.
2nd and 10 in the shotgun. Golson, plenty of time, looking for a receiver. And he's got a man, and it's overthrown. That was a risky throw. Looking for Morphew.
And again, right there, Scott Loy got a hand on it. Bring up 3rd and 10 for the Lions. Golson quickly to the sideline, getting some advice, getting some plays from Frank Tristan. Goes back to the huddle. There's 21 seconds left in the game. And the big 3rd down coming up here, obviously.
I think you can go up the middle one more time, Tim.
Yeah.
You can afford to go up the middle one more time because they will give you the middle. The soft
they'll give you the middle.
Will be in the middle of this zone defense.
And if you can get a 1st down here, you would have probably 2 tries at the end zone with 11 seconds left, which is probably what it would take before you could spike the ball.
Out on their feet, Golson surveys the defense. He rolls right, looking for a man, and he's just going to go out of bounds, and he is tackled for a 3-yard loss.
So this is the game right here. Golson couldn't find his man in time, gets shoved out of bounds. The clock does stop, but with 17 seconds left, it's 4th and 13. Number 91 for the Roos. He is fired up, Trey Stewart. So 4th and 13. It's official to say that this one is the ball game. The Lions can't make it.
This is it. I mean, you say it, you kind of mean it. This is really it.
This is really it. If the Lions don't make the 1st down, it's obviously over. If you make the 1st down, you quickly spike the ball and probably have 1 shot at the end zone.
Here we go. Golson needs to pull a miracle. He's got to find a receiver right now. He looks up, and he's got a receiver!
He's down!
Complete! Complete to number 7!
Trevor McKinley down to the 11-yard line.
Hurry!
12 seconds left.
They're
setting the chain. They're setting the chains. Golson under center. Here we go.
And a quick spike. Again. Outstanding play by Trevor McKinley.
That was a fast 3 seconds.
A must catch.
The clock goes down to 9 seconds. That was a fast 3 seconds from the time they set the chains. But anyway, the Lions do convert on a 4th and 13. This one's still not over. No matter what happens, I apologize profusely. I lost my faith in the Lions.
There's a plug in the Titanic somewhere.
I lost my faith in football for believing this game was possibly over yet. The Lions with probably 2 chances here from the 12.
Will the Roos hold on to win their 1st game in 15 tries, or will the Lions pull out an improbable win? Here's a pass, and it's dropped. By a defender, thankfully.
Hit DeAndre Holmes in the face.
That's 2 or 3 balls in this drive that could have been interceptions, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. That would have ended it, but here it is. This is it, for real. This is really it for real.
How many times have we said
There will be, unless the Lions score and go for 2, then you can have overtime. But this is it. 1 play left, 5 seconds on the clock. You only have time for 1 try. You're 12 yards from the end zone. No matter what you say about this one, it has been a thriller.
Look for Nick Morphew, his old high school teammate. In times of crisis, you look for the man you've known the most. Golson backs, got to throw. He looks, rolls right, fires.
It's low. Dribbles it in to Caleb
Shelby, and the ball game goes to the Roos as they celebrate their 1st game in 15 efforts.
Look at
on the gridiron
Golson here. Had Shelley.
He had Shelby.
He had
him.
Shelley, and it just came in, and the Lions are purely dejected right now. This was not the result they expected. This was not the result that even seemed like it was going to happen just a few short minutes ago. The last gasp effort falls about half a yard short. As we see a Gatorade bath happen out there, as the Roos got to give it to them. Played the game of their lives, and they break the 14-game losing streak.
Wow.
The Roos have a win. They're 1-2. The Lions, another heartbreaker at home. They're 1-2 also.
You do not want to start a season that way after playing a club that had not won in what, 13, 14 months, 15 months? That last play, Golson, tough throw on the run, running to the right. He wasn't, in the pocket, stepping forward. So in his defense, it was a tough throw to make, but he did have an open receiver.
Yeah, Shelley cut inside on that one, and he had the chance. He had the chance, but falls just short, and so do the Lions. They fall by 8, and another one of those heart-wrenching factors. It's always heart-wrenching when you lose, but it's definitely heart-wrenching when you lose like this. We are going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have post-game analysis, post-game thoughts, and preview into the Lions' next game here at home just 1 week away from today. We'll be right back after this.
Allie Parker is always on the go. There's never a dull moment with Allie. She never slows down. Never. And on top of all this,
She wants to finish her master's degree. Are you kidding me?
Honey, you don't have time to go back to school. The commutes, all the time away from home. It's just not possible.
but Allie has made a discovery. This year, SAGU Films presents the touching story of a woman who defies the odds and earns her master's degree without missing a beat.
Mom, your report card came.
Distance education, now playing at a computer near you.
And we're back at Lumpkin Stadium and a gut-wrenching loss, a close nail-biter, 25-17. The Lions fall to the Roos.
It's worth saying, as gut-wrenching as it was for the Lions, as victorious it was for Austin College. Like you said, they're coming into this game hungry. They want it. They've lost 2 straight games at home that they led at the half. Got to give all credit to them. That defense played out, lights out most of the night. And that running attack, well, let's just look at that running attack. Picked up 264 yards on the ground. Sean Sweeney, 194 yards, 180 after losses, 180 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Those numbers are absolutely worthy of just some pure kudos. Golson gains 100, loses 21, so he ends up with a 79 net. And just like I said, but for the Lions, pretty gut-wrenching, and you don't have to look far to find the reason why this game ended up in the L column rather than the W.
4 turnovers.
4 turnovers.
2 led to 10 points. The other 2 came at inopportune times late in the fourth quarter.
The fumble led to 6 more. Led to the 6 that would prove to be the game-winning points for the Roos, just on a Golson never really had control of it. Lushner never really had control of it. Go straight into the ground. The Roos quickly pounce on it, and they take advantage each time, straight from the Lions. Lions defense, though, got to give props to them. 14 tackles by Brad Heathcock. I'm sorry, no, I was looking at the wrong. 11 tackles.
Ties his season high. He had 11 coming into the game. Ties that in just one game. He now has 22 tackles on the year. And
Dalton Snyder with 9. Obviously, got to give Nick Econom had the amazing interception off of. It was a shoestring bounce and an amazing diving catch by Nick Econom. That after that interception, the Lions took their brief and only lead of 17-16. Rocky Davis. I mean, the moments all stand out so clear. Rocky Davis with the 4th and 2 stop, firing the crowd up, but then the Roos, right place, right time, get their 4th turnover of the game, take the lead.
What I like to see, though, is a minute left. The Lions move the ball in the air
so well.
It's as if the urgency kicks in and they just begin to play better, clear down to, the 7-yard line when that one ball falls just short into Caleb Shelby's mitts.
Yeah, and again, you always got to point out, of course, the idea that Austin College dropping into a prevent defense there. They've been just suffocating all night long, and that's, again, we talk about the decision to punt or not punt on 4th and 22. That was set up by pure secondary pressure. They shut down the Lions wide receivers. Because of it, Golson stayed back in the pocket too long, got brought down for a 12-yard sack, and, well, it wasn't the end of the game like we thought it might be.
We thought it was over.
The Lions could still threaten, but, again, you couldn't ask the team to do much more than they did, getting down to that position and falling just short. So, unfortunately, the Lions fall for 1 and 2, but for the Roos, got to give them absolute credit. For the first time since 2010, Austin College gets to celebrate a win tonight. So if you're at Austin College up in Sherman, Texas, my old hometown, enjoy this one tonight for sure, because these boys earned it. These boys earned it. Those interceptions were good. And, I mean, again, you just look right there, 180 yards from the running back.
161 yards for Southwestern rushing, 134 yards passing, total net game of 295 yards. So not a bad offensive output, not their best of the season. You want to see more than that.
Yeah, you want to see a lot more of that going forward, and you're going to need a lot more for that going up next week against Texas Lutheran. It's going to be a very solid ball club. We'll preview more of that as we go along here in the show. But, again, just look at these little things right here. Oh, I mean, obviously, the player we haven't mentioned lately, as I find his name here on our stat sheets, but how could you ever forget him? That's number 9, Coulter Hedrick, 2 interceptions. Yes. The second one was negated. The second one was in the end zone. The second one was in the end zone on the overthrown ball by Golson.
Correct.
So Coulter Hedrick gave 7 points straight to the Roos, picking up the ball at the 25-yard line. And then the Lions were close, might have had the chance to kick a field goal even if they hadn't made. And he made the interception in the end zone. So Coulter Hedrick, 2 picks. Big night for him. He also had 1 tackle, not much there. The Roos have 3 sacks on the night. It was Brooks Ward with the 12-yard sack that didn't end the game but set things in motion.
Sure,
that led to the unraveling officially.
Some key moments, the Cade Leshner miss handoff. Not sure if it was the quarterback or the running back's fault, but you cannot turn the ball over at that point in the game, at that point of the field.
The Lions had the opportunity literally to ice the game at that point. You keep on running. If you can get a first down or 2, the Roos are out of timeouts. At the very least, on that drive, with about 5:20 left, if you run 3 times and punt, the Roos will only get the ball back down by 1 with about 2 minutes left and no timeouts.
We're going to go down now to the field. Our sideline reporter, Bianca Alarcon, has one of our coaches, John Allen, standing by. Bianca.
You had some key plays by Rocky Davis and by DJ Johnson, but what do you take from such a close loss like this?
Well, it's difficult because you put yourself out there, but we made mistakes. We gave up the touchdowns and they played hard. We just got to play smarter, and this team matches up. This is a tough matchup for us because they're a power team. We're just a little bit undersized in some areas, so it's a little tough for us. But kids are playing their hearts out, so I can't fault them for that.
Okay, and can you tell us what exactly did happen at the winning touchdown?
We were trying to get some pressure on. We felt like they were going to throw it. We tried to bring some people off the edge and went into a man coverage. With their alignments, they're unbalanced a lot. They're moving people back and forth. We had one kind of get lost in there. We just didn't get him picked up, and he got a little looser than we wanted him to be.
Okay, and in light of tonight's game, what are you going to do differently this week in preparation for next week's game?
Well, we just got to go back to work. We had to make some adjustments to what they run. The team we play next week, we'll be able to go back a little bit more to our base and play more of our game. So we feel better about that.
Okay, thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you very much, Bianca. Well, we're going to talk now about player of the game. Looking at Austin College, obviously so many key players that you could think about giving this to. First off, of course, you're looking right at the man who just made such a huge impact on defense, and that's Coulter Hedrick, 2 interceptions. You got to look at.
I just feel so awkward,
Logan
like, standing there
Estes, I
signing
feel
for that
like.
line.
He only
He
had
was
6
not-
tackles total, but I felt like every tackle he made
Was important.
was a game breaker. It was
Huge.
like it was a huge tackle. You have PJ Fuller, 1 catch, 29 yards, touchdown. He only has 4 catches on the year, but each one of those huge. That was the game winner. But why are we even saying anybody else's name? Sean Sweeney, 34 carries, 180 yards, and a touchdown in a game that was defined by rushing. He stood out more than anyone else. You know, just really that anchoring lineup: Sweeney, Boyd, Wonkpa, Leonard, and Murphy. Those names are going to be hard to forget for a long time because they ran right over the Lions.
Absolutely.
So player of the game for the Austin College Kangaroos, without a doubt, Sean Sweeney.
On the defensive side, some notable players. Nick Econom, 1 great stop, 1 amazing interception, the shoestring off the foot and up in the air. So also notable mention, Jeremiah Mott. Didn't call his name a whole lot the first 2 games, a lot this game. He had 7 tackles. Dalton Snyder with 9 tackles. But our player of the game is going to go to number 8, Brad Heathcock, 11 tackles tonight, 5 solos, 6 assisted. So a good defensive showing. You know, like you say, the defense shows up every game.
Yeah, the defense showed up today again. They got the interception when it mattered to give the Lions the lead. They bend but not break. That's what they did all night long. And when the only 2 touchdowns come from 30 yards out and 26 yards out, how can you blame those guys? They did a great job tonight. You can still keep looking to them to be the anchor of this team. And let's not forget, even after the failed 4th and 22, the defense held strong. 3 quick plays,
Absolutely.
3 quick stops. They gave the Lions the ball back just down by 8, and they still had that glimmer of hope. But the pass will always remember here, just half a yard short from Caleb Shelley's hands, dribbling in. The Lions fall by 8 to Austin College.
And they fall to 1-2 on the season. Austin College improves to 1-2 in the season. So, again, after 15 games, SAGU is gifting. I won't say gifting, but, they're the reason that Austin College has broken that huge losing streak. So congratulations to the Austin College Roos for getting their first win in a long time. Next week, looking ahead, Texas Lutheran here at Lumpkin Stadium.
Texas Lutheran right back here at 6 o'clock, I believe. That's going to be a challenge. Texas Lutheran beat Austin College. You start comparing opponents. They beat Austin College 35-16 up in Sherman. But Texas Lutheran is going to be a very big challenge. The Lions are going to have to, definitely we're not going to say get their act together, but if you make the same mistakes you made tonight, you're definitely not going to be able to hang with a team that was 5-5 last year, looking good again this year. It's worth noting the last time they played against the Bulldogs, I believe they scored 72 points. Luckily, that was like 1998. So there's been a lot of time between now and then. 2 very different teams facing each other. Lions going to have to try to really rally after, again, a game that they felt like they could have won and should have won. Goes through their fingertips. They've lost 2 games now by a combined 9 points here at Lumpkin Stadium, and that's the stat that's going to stand out to everyone, I'm sure. So we'll be right back here.
Football's a funny game. The bounces, you go back to the muff interceptions, the drop balls. This game could have been over minutes ago for the Roos, but the Roos allowed us to stay in the game and still fell short. But football's a funny game like that.
Yeah, and it is. And tonight it's funny, ha-ha for the Roos because they get the win. But the Lions will get another crack at it 1 week, 6 o'clock right here. We'll be on at 5:45 pregame. It's worth pointing out that right after that, the Wednesday after that, I believe, we're going to be starting volleyball. Season 2 of volleyball is going to be kicking off here at SAGU Sports Live. Remember to go like us on Facebook, facebook.com/SAGU Sports Live. The contest is still open. Remember the question. When we first premiered.
Are you going to give us the answer?
I'm not going to give you the answer, no, because the answer's right there on Facebook. The answer's right there at the bottom of our Facebook page. Quarterback threw for 444 yards. That was the SAGU record, and it happened on the series premiere of SAGU Sports Live at SAGU Homecomings. Go like us on Facebook, message us the answer, and if you win, we'll give you the contact. There's the call letters right there, facebook.com/SAGU Sports Live. Well, for everyone up in Sherman, Waxahachie, wherever you are, thanks for joining us tonight.
God bless you. Take care. We'll see you next week on SAGU.live, SAGU.tv here at SAGU Sports Network. God bless you.